Okay, we're going to work on some more changing the subject of the formula. And we'll just encounter some trickier questions than we did in the previous lesson. Okay, now just to set this up to get going, we're going to change the subject of the formula for all examples following to a subject of t. Okay, so let's start off with f equals 3/4 t. Okay, so let's first of all get rid of the divide by 4 by multiplying by 4. So bring that up and multiplying, that will be 4 times f is equal to 3t. So remember, we perform the opposite operation when we eliminate the thing, so the divide by 4 becomes times by 4. I've now got a times by 3, and I'll eliminate that by dividing by 3. So now I've got 4 times f divided by 3 is equal to t, and I can shorten that to 4f over 3 equals t. Final answer, and I'll just swap it round at the end so that I've got t on the left hand side. Okay, example 2. Example 2, we've got g equals t minus 5 over n. Okay, so we want to end up with t. So change the subject of the formula to t. Well, the first thing that I'm going to get rid of is this divide by n. The opposite operation to divide by n is to times by n. So I'll get rid of it by multiplying. Okay, I'm now going to get rid of minus 5, and the opposite operation to minus 5 is to add 5, so that would be g times n plus 5 equals t, and I can shorten that back to gn plus 5 equals t. Final answer. Okay, next one, example 3. X equals 4t minus k over n. Okay, so I'll eliminate n by multiplying by n, so that's x times n equals 4t minus k. I'll then eliminate minus k by adding k, so that's x times n plus k equals 4t. I'm then going to eliminate the multiply by 4 by dividing by 4, and that's going to be, well, x times n can be written as xn, so that's xn plus k all over 4 is equal to t. Final answer. Okay, example 4. U equals 2/5 bracket t minus 3. Take your time, just do one thing at a time. Okay, I'm going to get rid of the divide by 5 by multiplying by 5. And then I'm going to get rid of the 2 lots, the 2 times, by dividing by 2. So it's going to be u times 5, could just put it as 5u. 5u over 2 equals t minus 3. And then I'm going to get rid of the minus 3 by adding 3. The opposite of taking away 3 is to add 3. So that's 5u over 2 plus 3 equals t. Final answer. And let's take down example 5. Okay, and another example 5. Let's go for e equals 3 plus 1/4 t. Okay, I'm going to get rid of the plus 3 by taking away 3. So it's going to be minus 3 plus e equals 1/4 t. I'm now going to get rid of the divide by 4 by multiplying by 4. How am I going to multiply these two terms by 4? I would say introduce a bracket at that point. And that's going to be equal to 1t, but I can just write that as t. I may as well take the opportunity to expand that out then. minus 12 plus 4e equals t, final answer. Okay, let's try an example 6. Okay, example 6, and this time we've got w equals 5 minus 1/2 t. Remember, we're changing the subject of the formula to t. Okay, so that plus 5, I can eliminate that by taking away 5. Will leave me with minus 1/2 t left on this side. Okay, next I can get rid of the divide by 2 by multiplying by 2. So that will be 2 lots of minus s plus w is equal to minus 1t. Okay, I can now expand that out, so that would be minus 2s plus 2w equals minus 1t, which is just minus t. Now I'm interested not in what minus t is, but what t is. Now I can perform just a small trick at this point, which I'm going to show you, which is called change all signs. Now when I say it's a trick, it's something that's completely mathematically sound. Now what it is this, is if you've got an equation, for example 5 equals 2 plus 3, so that's definitely true, 5 is equal to 2 plus 3, and that is an equation. If you change the sign of everything in the equation holds true. So minus 5 equals minus 2 minus 3, so I've changed the plus 5 to a minus 5, the plus 2 to a minus 2, and the plus 3 to a minus 3, and the equation still holds and is true, because minus 5 is equal to minus 2 minus 3. Let's try it for another example. So minus 7 is equal to minus 9 plus 2, so that's definitely a true statement. Minus 7 is equal to minus 9 plus 2. Now if I then change the sign of everything, make that minus 7 a plus 7, the minus 9 a plus 9, and the plus 2 a minus 2, does the equation still hold to be true? 7 equals 9 minus 2, and yes it does. Now using that, that's called change all signs. So change the plus to a minus, the plus to a minus, the plus to a minus, the minus to a plus, the minus to a plus, and the plus to a minus. Well, I can do that here as well, and I can change that minus t to a plus t, but then I'll change the minus 2s to a 2s and the 2w to a minus 2w, which gives me my final answer, t equals 2s minus 2w. Okay, let's try an example 7, and this time let's go for v equals mt over n minus 3. Okay, so I'm changing the subject formula to t. I'm going to get rid of the minus 3 by adding 3. So that will be 3 plus v equals mt over n. I'm now going to eliminate the divide n by multiplying by n. Now how am I going to multiply these multiple terms by n? I'll need to introduce a bracket. So that will be n lots of 3 plus v equals mt. I'm then going to eliminate the times by n by dividing by n, and that will be n lots of 3 plus v over m is equal to t. And I suppose at that point I could expand that open to get 3n plus 3v over m equals t, final answer. And I'm just going to swap it round at the very end, which technically is not necessary.